Welcome to the Crush It in Sales podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Van Fleet. This podcast focuses on the intersection of sales, leadership, and personal development. Now let's get ready to dig in and crush it. Hi, everyone. Welcome. As I've mentioned in previous podcasts, Ryan, my husband, who's good Karma Sportfishing, and I have been working on writing a chapter in a book series. It's a fourth annual small business book series, international bestselling, called Brilliant Breakthroughs for the Small Business Owner. And our book chapter that we are co-authoring together is on confidence. So I have been busy chatting with people, having interviews, and this morning I had a brilliant interview with someone who I have recently been connected with, and that is Jake Berton. Jake and Becca Berton are the owners of Rheos sunglasses, and these sunglasses are freaking awesome. My friend and fellow sales rep friend, who I've known for quite some time, Sally, she had contacted me to see if Ryan would check out these glasses. Because like I said, he is captain, good Karma Sportfishing. And he checked out the glasses and loved them. And then I checked them out and loved them. And now we're both wearing them all the time. So they're a fabulous product. And Jake and Becca started this business from scratch. And I just always admire when I hear small business owner stories and how they started from scratch. And obviously then, especially if they are a couple. So Jake was kind enough this morning to spend some time with me over Zoom, and we did a little interview, and I took a couple snippets from the interview for this podcast, and they are snippets in regards to having the confidence to start a business, what his thoughts were around that, and then part two is what are just some advice for people starting out on their own. So right now we're in this time of change. A lot of people are pivoting and changing. So I just thought that this could be some great nuggets for any of you out there that are looking to do that. So I hope you enjoy these snippets, and thank you in advance for listening to the podcast.
We just had to believe we were crazy enough to do it, I think. No, a lot of it is the bliss of ignorance. You don't really know at the beginning what you're getting into, and that makes it fun and exciting. So, both of us had done other businesses previous to Rheos, and I think that gave us kind of a baseline of experience and confidence. We had left for an Airstream trip. This was about 2016, 1981, 31-foot Airstream, set out across the country to visit some national parks. And every time we went out on the water, whether it was paddling or something else at one of these parks, I'd lose my sunglasses. And we'd get back in. I remember one time Becca looks over at me and she's like, "You realize these sunglasses are the most expensive part of our trip." And after we laughed that off for a minute, we started thinking there's got to be a better way. And we went and designed some of the best sunglasses in the world, and then we made them float. So when they hit the water, they don't disappear. So it really came out of just personal need as we were traveling around.
Wow, I love your guys' story. I think it is so awesome. Thank you for sharing. What is some advice that you would give? Just some, general advice if someone's starting out and maybe they're feeling unsure, a little shaky, what would you say from maybe a mindset perspective, and then also from a tools, education, learning, books, anything like that?
Yeah, I think the number one piece of advice that has stuck with me is everybody looks good in the good times as a leader. It's those tougher times where you got to make the tougher decisions and think through the tougher problems and look for creative solves that you get to earn your merit. And so being prepared for whatever may come ahead, I think this year's a pretty good example. Mm-hmm. Where, there's a lot of businesses that were shook to the core, and having the plan B and being able to move quickly and adjust would be the biggest piece of advice that I may throw out there. And to couple with that, just understanding the model behind the business. I think all too often, especially in small business, when people are just getting started, just not having the financial model to help guide decisions and say, well, if we do plan A, what does that look like? And if, plan B happens, what does that look like? Because at the end of the day, the business is the black box. You got time and dollar that goes in, and you got time and dollar that comes out, and a lot of things happen in between. And that's the business. So having the financial model built to be able to test scenarios and react quickly and make decisions when things do not go to plan, I think is where, the challenges come in handy.
This is so true. So true. I know Ryan and I have dealt a lot with pivots and tweaks and changes and redirection over the past 8 years that we've had Good Karma Sportfishing, and 11 years since we've been in the Keys. So I really loved hearing Jake's point of view as well, because you have to have a handle on what's going on. And we feel that we had a handle on what was going on when COVID started, and we quickly made adjustments. We changed things around. And yesterday, actually, I sat and wrote a huge list of all the things that we have done, taken action on, accomplished, however you want to bucket it, since the beginning of COVID. So I really hope that this podcast makes you think, whether you're in sales or leadership, really sit and think about, what have you done? What can you be doing? What needs to be done? What changes, what tweaks can you make? Because, the world is different out there, and you keep seeing all these news reports every day of stores and retailers and companies filing Chapter 11 or closing or just struggling in general. So it is really important to take some advice and do a deep dive as to what's going on in your business, what's your business model, and how you have to tweak and change it. So I hope you like this podcast. It's probably short and sweet. I don't know the time yet, but I know everyone's busy doing something. And I just really always appreciate you guys tuning in and listening and sharing with a friend, family member, or coworker. So check out Rheos. They're amazing sunglasses. They are so incredible. Like I said, my husband and I are now huge fans, and we're sunglass snobs. So I ditched my Chanel and Gucci sunglasses, and my husband was wearing Mahi Jim, so he is switched as well, and they're just awesome sunglasses. So a little fun promo for you there, because you know what? Sometimes you need some fun in your life. So, but thank you so much for listening. As always, I appreciate a rating and review on Apple. Definitely subscribe. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And my other podcast is called The Good Karma Success Coach. So till next week, I hope you crush it in sales. Thanks for listening.